Fit like a bee, Dannyman here, and welcome back to another episode of Transport Fever 2. Now, for some of you, this may look familiar. This is the Stockton and Darlinghton Railway map. So, we're going to add a section to the Stockton and Darlinghton Railway. A section that probably should have been added ages ago, but I finally gotten around to it. It's been something I've been meaning to do for a while, and I wanted to get that sort of part of this rail out of the way. So, what have we done? Right, we've got a few new trains and things. We'll recap all the trains that are running on the Stockton and Darlinghton Railway. We've got passenger service and a line from the coalfields here that head out, and one goes to Stockton, but we've extended the line out to Middlesbrough. So the main line comes around here, it goes to Darlington, it comes round to Stockton, one line branches off, goes to Stockton Harbour, and the other line continues. Now this is new from here, and then it continues on, goes through Middlesbrough, and then off to Redcar. So the passenger service splits off here, and the freight service goes down this way. Now let's have a look at sort of Redcar docks or Middlesbrough docks. I'm thinking I might make this entire area here all sort of dockland. I do not know how that is going to work. I'm sure we'll figure it out. Maybe we should have added a clipper ship or something here. We might do that. One thing I might do is like add like a section of land here and have some industries on them, and then just have ships come in so it looks like they're coming in from the sea. So yeah, so here is the area. We've got coal being taken from the coal fields. Now, this is coal from Bishop Coalfields to Redcar. Now, is the R actually missing there? Yeah, Redcar docks, right. It's okay, it's okay. Leave that. Yeah, so this is heading down. Now, there are 3 locomotives on here. These are the generic 040. Now, this is another Steve M4 mod. We used a couple of them on one of the previous episodes for the Liverpool and Manchester Railway. They do come in a Stockton and Darlington colours. Let's go and look at one. So, where are you? You are heading through with coal. But here it is. It's got the green. It's got the sort of wooden boiler there. It's heavily varnished, it looks like, because it's super shiny. But it looks really cool. Obviously, this will degrade in time. And we've got our Stockton and Darlington cauldron wagon. So this one heads on. It heads on the way. It goes to Redcar. We've got another one there. I've just named it the Redcar, so I literally named them after places in the area. And we've got our mainline passenger service here, which is the S&DR Intercity. Now, the 060s are running on here. There they are. So this is the Coronation. It looks great. And what else is running on here? The Wilberforce and the Royal George. Yeah. These models are fantastic, by the way. And I believe that the Coronation and the Wilberforce was possibly ported over for Transport Fever 1 and then cleaned up a bit. So it looks fantastic. They look really good. We've seen them before though. So they are running the Intercity train. They're passing each other at Stockton, so that's nice. And if we go down here, we still have the locomotion in operation. So the locomotion, there we go, it's still there. It's got locomotion written on the side of it, and it's hauling coal down to Stockton docks. And we've got another 040 at the Stockton, which is also running coal down there. So we're going to push pause for just a second. We're actually going to jump. We'll jump on this train, right? Yeah, the Middlesbrough. The Middlesbrough is heading to Redcar. So once it gets up there, we'll jump down. So no changes to this area. I might build up some farms here to fill out that space. We're going to have to continue the river. That's always fun. Everyone knows my opinion on water physics and Transport Fever 2 because they're absolutely horrendous. And yeah, so the original line, the real life line today, would actually probably cut off about here and then cross the river over here and then go into Middlesbrough. Due to reasons, I have mine sort of coming out this way, so I'll have to change it at some point. I don't think I can actually leave it like this. It should come out this way and go across here, and then this should come down and join on and go across the bridge. Now, one of the railway bridges over the river here is a suspension. It's a bridge with suspension cables, but the towers, the suspension towers, are made of bricks, and unfortunately, I have not found a bridge that has suspension towers or bridge pillars towers that are made of brick. We have the suspension cables and the steel to hold those suspension cables in place, but none of them have the brick towers, which is unfortunate. Now, I've seen a bridge like it many times before. Unfortunately, I can't find a mod for it. So it's just a standard sort of iron girder bridge here. And yeah, it was unfortunate. Now, in reality, all this here is densely populated all the way over here, Middlesbrough, and then it extends out here. This should all be populated as well. I believe the Middlesbrough train station should be closer to the sort of quayside here, and absolutely the Redcar station should be more closer to the coastline. But yeah, we'll have to see how we get on. These are placed towns, just with the standard sandbox, and they are huge apparently. So this is a huge town. That's sort of as big as you get. Now, if you pile a bunch of trains on, give it the goods it needs, add some roads so it can go to other cities, they will grow. You can't sort of define. I think there's maybe a mod actually now where you can instruct cities on where you sort of want them to grow. This has got briquette. Yeah, take construction materials as well. Why the hell not? Middlesbrough's got absolutely nothing. Is newspapers there? No newspapers. That's sad. That makes me sad. Right, you take fuel and food. Why the hell not? Yeah, so these will grow out. Whether they're going to grow out this way, I just don't know. I don't think we're going to be able to fill all this in. What I might have to do is maybe pick up like a smaller town and place it in here, and then populate this area here with asset buildings to flesh that out. May have to do the same over here as well. I just don't think this is going to grow out like we want. And I want to extend the quay and harbour and make a beach here, so a lot of this is going to be subject to removal. Now over here it is populated as well. I don't know how we're going to do that. We'll have to add bridges that go across. That's going to be interesting. We'll add them in later. Right now we're just focusing on this side. Now the coal trains are coming down and offloading their coal here, and we're taking the coal up to a briquette factory. Now this is a cokery. Right, this needs to be changed because this is currently a cokery that will make coke and or charcoal, whatever, and yeah, that needs to be changed to a briquette factory. The problem with the DDR industries is that they don't appear in 1850s. They're more early 1900s, 1950s, 60s, 70s, 80s, etc. So that is kind of weird. I've also noticed that it kind of clashes with one of the other mods. So I have Colloquins expanded industries installed, and as you can see here, the steel mill will only take the charcoal here or the coke, and not cocaine, like coke, like refined coal, if you will. And yeah, it won't take iron ore anymore, so I need to sort of look around and see what is conflicting with each other in order to get this to work. I do want them to be in because this has got mail, and mail is good, mail is fun. You don't seem to have newspapers. You do have the fish industry, which I can add later. So yeah, this might just be DDR, and I might just add a few other things in as well. So yeah, that is the story with what was sort of built up. And yep, need to build all over here, all around here. It's going to be interesting to see how the town develops. This is not a smiley face. This is just the way that turned out. Okay, so let's jump on board the train. We'll jump on one of the new 040s. We'll jump on the Middlesbrough, since it's pretty much where it needs to be. Are you going to get stuck behind something? Possibly. Frame rate is pretty good on this map. It's not as detailed or as intensive as sort of the Liverpool-Manchester Railway. There's a lot of towns in there. There's a lot of asset buildings. There's a lot of trains on different routes. This only has the 3 routes thus far, plus a supplementary intercity stagecoach bus that I added from Stockton to go out to Redcar and back. That sort of supplements the Bishop Auckland to Stockton intercity. Right, so the Middlesbrough is there. It will pick up a full load of from the coalfields here, and it will head out. We're going to soon reach the problem where the cokery has produced its max amount of refined charcoal, and it doesn't have anywhere to send it to. So we are going to have to fix that. And I'm sure we will. I think it maybe goes to like a carbide factory or something. We can add one of those in the next time we come onto this map. And I'll mess about with some of the industries and see what else we can change about. Adding a few standalone industries here and there might be preferable when using the DDR industries. There are a lot of industry mods now. I've done several videos on them detailing how they work, etc. Some work better than others. Actually, they all work really well, but they don't always all work together in harmony, and it can cause massive problems. Entire industries will disappear from existence, and then you'll be like, hey, I need to send these logs to a sawmill, but the sawmill doesn't exist anymore. What now do I do with them? So that is one of the issues that can happen, and it's one of the issues that's happening here because the steel mill is now no longer accepting iron ore, and there's absolutely nowhere for iron ore to go to. So yeah, messing about with some of the stuff there might be an option. Although I really do like the mail. The mail and the newspapers are good if you can get them to work. Mail's pretty easy to get working. Newspapers sort of does work, and then it sort of doesn't work. So we shall have to wait and see. So here's our coal train heading down. It's going to pass straight through all these passenger stations. The top speed on this line is 20 miles per hour because the fastest train on the line is also 20 miles per hour. So the Coronation, the Wilberforce and the Royal George only have a top speed of 20 miles per hour, which is not actually fact. In fact, in real life, their top speed was about 8 miles per hour. But Steve M4, the mod creator, took a few liberties and sort of balanced it a bit more and gave it a higher top speed, which I am eternally grateful for, because it would have been super annoying constantly being stuck behind a train that only did 8 miles per hour. And judging by the size of it, I mean, the loco is a beast. It's huge for this era, this time period. You'd think it would go faster, but no, 8 miles per hour was its its max speed. So yeah, 20 miles per hour. That's not too bad. A lot of the cauldron wagons and the passenger wagons only really have a top speed of 20-25 anyway, so we're sort of maxed out at that sort of speed. Now we've got different signals on here. It looks like I did not have the UK signals mod installed when I built this section of track, because we are still running the standard old school vanilla signals on there. That's fine, not too worried about that. I've not had any issues with trains, although I did set them all in their lines and test them out, because I did have some issues with trains down at sort of Redcar docks, which have now been resolved, which is nice. There we go, there's our first 060 there. That is the Royal George. You can tell because it's got the red wheels. Right, so headed down. So Stockton and Darlinghton. The reason I picked this map is because it's something I've been needing to do for a while. It did say on Wikipedia that basically as soon as they finished the first section from Stockton to Darlinghton, they thought, hey, it's probably a good idea. We'll get more foot traffic if we extend out to Middlesbrough and Redcar. And they can also get down to the docks there, which is ultimately closer to the coastline, which is what you sort of want. So yeah, they extended that section of the line out pretty early in the line's history. I never noticed it until just recently. I was sort of looking at it and I was like, hey, when did the Stockton and Darlinghton Railway move out to Middlesbrough? And it turns out it was way before now. But yeah, we've got a few things coming up. So, in the next episode, maybe the next episode, I don't know, I'm at 50-50 right now. I have a sort of makeshift Belgium map. There is in no way a one-to-one with Belgium. It's completely flat. It was taken from the workshop. The guy who made it, hands down, hats off, fair play to him, because I tried to recreate Belgium, or parts of Belgium. I was going to split it into two, north and sort of south, and from height maps. There are no height maps of Belgium. There are no grayscale height maps of Belgium. Terrain Party, which a lot of people use to create maps, does not give you only gives you, is it 26 kilometers by 26 kilometers? Which Belgium is obviously larger than that. In fact, every country in the world is probably larger than that, bar maybe something like Vatican City. How big is Vatican City? It's not that big, right? But yeah, it was. I was finding it extremely difficult, and then I found a Belgium map on the Steam Workshop. Now, the detail in the north with the rivers and the sort of parts of Holland, the sort of patchy island sort of parts up in the north, where sort of Holland joins onto Belgium, are done extremely well. Fantastic, I will say. The only problem is Belgium is a really weird shape. Sorry, Belgium. It's really hard to get a perfect square of Belgium without incorporating like a ton of Holland or like a lot of France. There's a lot of France, St. Quentin, Lille, etc. It covers most of that if you try to do it in a perfect square. If you do like a sort of tilted horizontal rectangle, it still doesn't work as good. So what I did is I took his map and I did a bit of creative liberties to try and get it the sort of way I wanted, so that it was just mainly Belgium towns and stuff. I sort of hit a brick wall because it looks kind of stupid. I've pretty much screwed it up, and I need to sort of rearrange rivers and stuff, and it's becoming a nightmare. So that is one option to do I think it's La Belge, which was a patentee, and it ran from Mechelen up to Antwerp. And that was going to be Belgium's first ever line. Yay! However, I'm having mega difficulties with those maps. The only problem is there is a height map for Belgium. You can get one because you can get an entire grayscale height map for the entirety of Europe. You just sort of have to zoom in. Problem, because Holland and Belgium, at least the north, are so close to sea level, it's very hard for the computer to distinguish between the perfect blacks from where the water is. You have to zoom in and crop quite a large section of the map. It always comes out super blurry and annoying, and it just looks kind of naff once it's ported across. So yeah, I went with his map and we've taken a bit of creative liberty, but now I'm stuck because the map didn't look dumb originally, it looked okay, but it was the distances between major cities was too short. I wanted them to be longer. So yeah, it's a work in progress. Now the other thing we have a map for is London. Now we used the London map when creating the Catch Me Who Can. There we go. There's a nice shot of the train heading through the dockyard there. I need to place this with some assets and stuff in here. Yeah, we do have the London map that we used for the Richard Trevithick's Catch Me Who Can. And what we can do is the Great Western Railway started building sort of 1833, 1835, and they built the railway. You can see where it's built. It's like built in massive sections. So we can do the first section, and then in like 1937, 1938, they added another section as they sort of continued out towards Bristol and the sort of southwest of England. So we could add that as well. So there's two things we're sort of looking for. There's also the American stuff. There's quite a lot of American stuff. There's the Agnoria, or the Lion, the Stourbridge Lion, which we can add. Their locomotives start to come into fruition around about this time as well, especially like the John Bulls, etc. Someone did mention that obviously the first locomotive in America was the Tom Thumb. Now I knew this because it's in is it Railroad Tycoon? No, it's not in Railroad Tycoon. It's in that. Is it Railway Express or something? There's a game that came out a couple of years ago that was kind of like Transport Fever, but like a sort of dumbed down version. Railroad something? I can't remember. But it started in America, and you could get the Tom Thumb. The Tom Thumb was one of the locomotives you could select, I do believe, or something that looked extremely like the Tom Thumb. So yeah, but I thought there was a mod for Tom Thumb, but there unfortunately is not, so we can't add it. So we'll see how we get on. There's many places we could go to, Germany, France as well. We'll see how we get on. Now this is supposed to be around the world playthrough. A couple of days ago, because progress was moving so slowly and it was taking me forever to build stuff out, I was contemplating just making it UK to begin with and then moving on to a different country. The reason for this is because I've been adding sort of maps from other countries, and there is a ridiculous ton of mods. There's about 500 mods installed on every single one of the maps that I've done so far. And those are just assets. Railways, roads, bridges, tunnels, buildings, industry mods, decorations, signals, level crossings. That is solely just that. And then there's the vehicles, and it's really difficult when you've got so much mod to pick out something like... I was looking at the sort of early Japanese stuff for when we do the Japanese map, and then I got sort of confused and added a bunch of Japanese trains to one of the American maps, one of the states, which was really dumb, and I was like, oh wait, these are not supposed to be here. So yeah, it's getting overwhelming, and I can't really figure out a sort of decent system so that things are not clashing and I'm not sort of adding a bunch of stuff that I don't need. Yeah, so I was thinking about just cutting it down to the UK. I may still do that. We may just continue on with the UK. We'll blitz through the UK as fast as we can. So once that's done, we do another country, maybe Belgium, because it was the next on the list. And then because there's not that many Belgium modded assets, trains, etc., liveries, it won't take long to get through that. Then we move on to another country, France, Spain, Germany, Japan, China, Russia, America. But we'll see. We shall see how we sort of get on. But yeah, there we go. The train is pretty much back up at Darlington. So there you go. The new section added there to Middlesbrough and Redcar. I just wanted to get that bit knocked out at the park. I've been meaning to do it for a while, and at least I have peace of mind. It is now done. Yay! Obviously, the train lines around here are going to have to start heading north up to Newcastle and south down to York. But we'll get to that when the time comes, and then eventually it will become the Great Northern Railway. But we're a bit early for that yet. So yeah, we'll leave it there for that episode. As always, if you did watch this and you would like to leave a like, comment or dislike, please feel free to do so. And if there's more you'd like to see in the future, then hit that subscribe button. But I've been Danny Man, this has been Transport Fever 2, and I will catch you later.